All right.
Yeah, Cheech. Have you ever felt one of those days where you're on the way to the temple and you just want to like get out and just buy a bazooka and just go
Oh,
go
every
full
day,
go full
every morning.
go falling down on society?
I think you're leading up to one of our an episode that I wrote, was inspired by one, let's just say One Punch Man, particular person who we know. Um, and we talked about him last week. Um, Somebody who's about to become w- uh, William Foster, who the character in Falling Down.
Right,
So
right.
I basically have been obsessed with that movie, Falling Down, as you know, inspired by somebody. And I wrote a whole episode about that movie and how we're going to use all this crazy psychology stuff and break down Michael Douglas's character in that movie and kind of come up with the concept. Is he really a sick
Is he really a sick bastard,
maniac?
psycho, or is he on the
Is
same
he a,
level as Dahmer, or are we all falling down, William?
and we yeah, is he on the same level as Dahmer
No,
in
and
that
also from a
movie?
Jungian,
Or
it's great. We're gonna psychoanalyze it too. We're gonna do it from a Freudian perspective, a Jungian perspective. Like
yeah,
see which
yeah.
one wins out. Because actually, if it's Freud wrote The Civilization and its Discontents. Have you ever read that book, that landmark?
Am I freezing up? I'm just curious.
No.
Okay, okay. All
Why?
right. No, no, because it got weird for a second. No, it's okay.
Yeah, no.
I'm good.
But yeah, that's next week. Yeah. So we both agree that yeah, we have those days where we're just gonna leave our cars in traffic and
Yeah.
just go full
We're
full
gonna we're just gonna
postal.
break down we're gonna break down that movie because
And actually not
I think
us. We're actually
everybody
worried about
has.
William Forster. He may go
Yeah.
postal.
Yeah.
What
No, everybody has
dude, your
everybody
boy
has
was going postal today in the kitchen. Frenchie?
oh, oh, Frenchie.
Yo, he was
Yeah,
having a
he's another
breakdown.
one. We can analyze people at the temple. That's the great part about the existential vacuum that we work at. We have people, we actually take our theories from these great psychiatrists, psychologists,
Dude,
psychoanalysts,
we're both
and we
psychiatrists,
apply it.
psychologists at the temple. We look at like disorder at the temple and we studied that.
And we pick out what these people have.
And let
But
me ask you,
yeah, so
and Dr. Cheech, Professor Cheech here,
yeah,
like you've been working at the
yeah.
temple. What does psychological healthiness look like at the temple? And by the way, I made that word up, healthiness. But
Yeah,
what does a
psycho
psychological healthy temple worker look like? What do you think?
um probably me. uh, or, or Manny.
But you adapted a Schopenhauerian will and Crowellian
They,
will.
well, I don't understand what you mean. Like with the question, 100% maybe. Like what does
What
the
does healthy
per the person
psychological what's a healthy psychological person look like at the temple?
actual person or their philosophy?
Just
Like
to survive.
um, I'm gonna say Carl Jung's mask.
All right. As soon as you
That
clock
that
out,
would
you take
make
off that mask.
yeah. Yeah, because if I was to be my true will at the temple, I would not have a job there. I would
Mm.
be William Foster from Falling Down. You know what I mean? Like I mean, not that I deal with I mean I mean you've been there a long time. We deal with customers that can be annoying, but 9 out of 10 times, once a week, once a month, you
Yeah,
get you
yeah.
get a real person that's a jerk. But everybody at this point, everybody knows us.
Now here's
All
the
the
thing, is
customers
it
know us.
possible to be psychologically healthy at the temple?
Um, I think everyone at that temple puts a mask on.
But what if
You
you
know,
have like
because
what if you have William Forster who's like breaking down? What do we do? He's gonna go full postal
um,
one day.
let me see. I've only seen one guy go completely postal at the temple, and it's really sad what happened to this guy. Um, I seen a man have a complete breakdown, and it's really scary. Um, I don't know if I want to like go into detail about it
No,
on
no, no,
air,
I'm totally
but
joking,
but
but and the
but
reason why I tell
I
you
did
this,
and I did see see somebody, but it wasn't because of the temple. It was because of a woman.
right,
And
right.
this guy broke.
Well,
He was losing his mind. He was
yeah.
losing his mind.
Well, it reminds me of Led
But
Zeppelin's 3 song, the Led Zeppelin 3 song. Remember when Plant's
Led Zeppelin.
singing about working all day for this woman?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Since I've been loving you.
I was quizzing you,
Yeah,
since I've been loving you, and you just hear the aching.
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
working 9 hours all day. And then you
yeah,
hear
yeah, yeah. It's great.
Paige's guitar is just crying. Down, 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 down. That's most
It's
guys, man.
crying. Tears.
Produce. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if these poor saps like jump off the Empire State Building, man. Like,
Um, I mean, to work at the temple, I have all these years. For you have all these years.
mm,
It's all about Carl Jung. It's putting a you're putting a mask
that's
on,
a great point.
and you know we're putting our masks on, but yet we are using Freudian's id, ego, and superego to control certain people. Will really get under our skin because we take our mask off for certain people. You told me a story recently, when somebody approached you, you kind of took your mask off and said, questioned them. I've questioned them. So we take our masks off, but we have egos that are controlled. They're not off the charts because we still have jobs.
Hmm.
So I would say Freud and Jung I use at the temple. If I was to use my own personal theory, I probably wouldn't have a job. Although in back in the day, do what thy wilt would have worked at the temple because nobody cared.
Hmm.
Me and Lolly had this conversation today. How insane it was the old west. The temple was the wild west in 1999, 2000. Anything went. If people that are these modern day temple people traveled back in time,
Hmm.
they would be like, "What? This is the temple?" It was a fun place to work, dude. It was like going to high school every day. Yeah, you had your a-holes who ran the place, but it was just more of like it was like a fun adventure. It was like high school part three. It was like, grammar school, middle school, high school, then you work at the temple and you get paid for it. But yeah. But honestly, to go back to your original question, you put a mask on. Since we're on the Freud kick right now,
And when we talk about
we
that,
all put that mask on.
and when we get
Yeah.
there, we'll talk about what that means in more detail.
Yeah. But so this week, on Carl Jung, we're gonna be doing a lot of episodes on Carl Jung. We're picking concepts by him. Just very slowly getting into Jung, and we're going to discuss his concepts. And Manny is the expert. I'm the student, and we're going to discuss how we came up with them, how we can use them in society, give examples, how we can use them at the temple. So I want to throw it out there with part two. Last week we did synchronicity, which I can't stop thinking about. It's all and I see it every day. There's a synchronicity in my life every single day I wake up, and I don't even realize it until you study synchronicity.
Hmm.
Um, you know. So what is this week's topic of Carl Jung going
We
to
can
be?
head into archetypes, psychic universals.
Nice. Do you want to explain what that is? Because I kind of know, but I'm a student,
All
about
right.
this.
Did you have any notes on this?
I do. It's way into the red book section of it. So I don't.
Oh, I see. Okay, but you have nothing on uh
No, I just have what it is, and I figured we would take one concept instead of like we're gonna get into the red book, but like we're gonna just do this in like a slow order, like we did with the prog rock Bible and Encyclopedia Punk. But with Young, it's very complicated, and it's not CBGB's versus England. You know what I mean? You
No, it makes
know,
sense. Okay, so I'll take it away. So the Archetypes is probably one of the most Jungian things that he ever produced. And I got this great book here. Um,
awesome.
Young Map of the Soul. There's always these great introductions. And usually talked about Jung is the architect of the soul from a psychological point of view. Because there wasn't really nothing like it,
Yeah.
right? His theories. But what's interesting is that I'm just gonna read a section here and see what you think. The origins of Jung's notion of archetypes can be traced back in his written works to the period of between 1909 and 1912. And again, this is kind of like a long time ago, when, while still collaborating with Freud, he was investigating mythology and writing the psychology of the unconscious, right? So one of the things with the archetypes is mythology. Because Freud made a connection here that what is a myth? Like these mythic heroes, what do they represent?
Yeah.
Right? He started to make a connection here because he said this can't just be coincidence. Like the Greek heroes, the Roman heroes, like there are these weird art patterns that keep repeating,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Um, and and just to go another section here, just to see what you think. According to his autobiography, Jung got his first impression of impersonal layers of the unconscious from a dream he had during the voyage to America with Freud in 1909. He dreamed of a house called My House in the context of the dream that had many levels. In the dream, he explores the stories of the house from the main floor, the present age, down into the basement, the recent historical past, and beyond that down through several subcellars, the ancient historical past, like the Greek and Roman, and finally, the prehistoric and Paleolithic past.
Wow.
This dream answered a question he had been asking during the trip, namely, on what premises is Freudian psychology founded? So he was already doubting. Because then he realizes that we need to go back a little bit and figure out like what are we talking about here has always been present in history.
Yeah.
So in comes his ideas of the archetypes, the psychic universals. So he was attempting to look at the universals of the mind within history, within the outside world.
Right.
And just one more section here, the same pursuit. And again, Freud was writing, he was influenced by mythology and again using mythology to sort of like say, okay, there are these patterns in historical thinking.
Right.
And a key thing to understand here is that it's going to have such an influence on Joseph Campbell,
Right. I
who
was gonna
took
say
his
that.
work and came up with the hero ideas. And these
Hero's
ideas,
journey. Yeah.
the hero's journey, and this is famously played out in Star Wars because George Lucas was inspired by that.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker represents an archetype of a universal um, psychic phenomena.
Wow.
So that's like the archetype in a nutshell.
Right.
Ancient patterns that are present in the mind, but in the world.
So you're basically taking people from the past and making them your hero.
Wait,
You're
what?
inspired by them.
In archetypes?
Yeah.
No, no, it's kind of different. That's more like inspiration. No,
That would be more Joseph Campbell.
no,
Yeah.
no. The way it works is with the archetype is let's say you have the archetype of the hero. Famous
Yeah.
example.
Right.
So Jung's noticed in all of literature in classic antiquity and looking at there is a pattern of the hero.
Yeah.
And so he thought, where did this come from? It had to come from the unconscious. Also, he used Darwin's evolutionary theory because these things get passed on. So
Right.
he was trying to theorize that this idea of the hero What is the essential pattern of it? It's found within the unconscious, that it's externalized in myths and story and all that.
So there's always a hero in a story.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do we apply that in our life?
So, okay, so all right, so again, so we're just doing this one little section, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Now, this is going to be important because it's going to build on, okay, what if he was trying to come up with psychic universals, which is that, again, philosophy, like even before psychology, was also looking at universals, if that makes
right.
sense.
Explain that universal concept.
So things that are found within everything in being.
Okay. The
And
universal being.
if I had more time, I'll get into it, but I might like explode your
This is
brain.
like mind fucking me right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it's gonna mind fuck you to the point where you might not come back. I was like wrestling with this and like I'm reading a book talking about universals from classical philosophy. But okay.
Yeah.
But the point is Jung was trying to do the same because again, think about it. And here let's start with sexuality and Darwinian evolution. How do genes get passed on?
Through having sex, making
Ha-
a baby.
Having sex, right? Straight up
Yeah.
effing. Like that's how
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
You pass on the things, everything, right? Genetics, right?
Yep.
Everything. Now things get passed on and expressed, correct?
Right. Right.
So for example, if masculine males have more, they're gonna pass on their masculine traits more than like the weak males.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, um, you're talking about genetics.
Okay, this is important. Now, before it was genetics, Darwin was having a huge influence on evolutionary theory.
Right.
Okay, now Jung said, what if there are psychic things that get passed on? How can I prove this? He proved it in looking at human history, human mythology, the Bible, the stories we tell. And so what he came up with was, and this is actually really cool. But again, look at what he said. He was already questioning Freud now, on what now, for example, id, super ego, right? If we're
Yeah.
talking about, is this universal? Let me ask you, let me mind F you right now. Are
Yeah.
these universals, the ego, the id and ego, the super ego?
For me, it is
Why?
because I think out of
And by the way, I'm young. You're Freud. He
okay,
asked why.
okay, Socratic method there, right? So like I feel connected to Freud as a young college student. When I first studied psychology, I was naive, it was an elective. I was a music major and I had an interest in it. And they said, there's this guy, Sigmund Freud. I'm like, oh, I remember. I heard of him. And the first thing they said was id, ego, and superego. And they talked about a serial killer, and it resonated with me. Like, holy shit, like certain people don't have these three things, and that's why they're nuts.
Right, but problem you're talking about subjectivity. You're like Freud, but that's not good enough. How do you know these are universals found in all humanity? Prove it to me.
Um, how id, ego, and superego work.
How do you know the universals? This was Young. This was I'm telling you, this is where it's leading up to what Young was trying to argue.
Um, we're not gonna have a split, man.
No,
Uh,
but the point is, so here comes Young. He was questioning it,
yeah.
and mind you, Freud got probably pissed off. He was saying, "How like this?"
Yeah. Well, I talk about that. What's the word? Oh God, there's a great word. He dismantled. He dismantled Freud's whole theories completely
Yeah, yeah.
in that book. What was the book that he wrote that
Uh,
pissed Freud off?
um,
There was one when they came to America, right?
dude, the
Right.
Tao of music like mind f me. So
Yeah.
I'm
So
like,
he wrote a book that dismantled Freud's idea, whole
right,
concept.
right,
After he was Freud's in the
right,
IPA boy, he was the boy in that group for 2 years.
right, right, right.
And then they came to America and they met William James and they lectured in Massachusetts, I
Right,
think.
right. I think
And
I think at Clark University, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they on the way they were, analyzing each other. And they would analyze each other, and Jung was getting more pissed, like, wow, you're making me sound like I'm nuts. He even
Right.
gave him a diagnosis, which he probably was right because Jung was about to have a fucking
Right, right, right.
um,
No,
but then he was angry about dreams, and you talked about dreams. So Freud would not have the dream he had. He must have told Freud, and then Freud would not tell him his dreams, and that pissed off Jung. From my reading.
right. Yeah,
But
and
for your question, like I'm still like I feel like an idiot because I'm still like, well,
no, well, I caught you up. Well, I have years to because that's okay. So Freud was weird about Freud. Like everybody took what was right in him, but then left behind what was wrong.
what
Okay.
was wrong? What was wrong with Freud?
Oh,
Besides the libido thing,
we would
I agree with Jung on that.
we would need more time because otherwise we'd be here for
Well, give
hours.
me like in like a cliff note,
All
five
right, all
second.
right.
Yeah,
Now, okay, so from the psychological perspective, for example, he came up with the idea of how the ego preservation. That's actually right. Like he came up with these ego defenses. So
yeah,
psychologists took that, but they left behind the pleasure principle, for example.
right, right.
That's an
Okay,
example. I got more, but yeah.
okay,
But Freud, I love Freud, and it's just funny because, but the problem with him is that because he started from like certain perspectives,
yeah.
and Jung comes in now. He said that what if the human unconscious is passed on? How do I know this? Because I see it in patterns that occur in human literature, art, and what he will later call, and that's another episode, the collective unconscious,
Right, right, right.
right? And this time, using what he learned, he came up with the Jungian archetypes. So he thought, the theory goes that there are universal images that reside in and we'll have another episode on the collective unconscious. And then he said that this is a layer of shared ancestral memory that gets passed on and embedded within us, right?
So what? How do we, as an example, how do I have that?
You have that because Jaco Pastorius, the bass player, why did you play bass?
Right.
That's the example. Jaco, even though he wouldn't be the only example, but he represents the archetype of the bass player. And actually, he would actually represent the create. Now, Jung had an archetype. You're a creator. And then let me just pull up hold on, so I can show you the 12 Jungian archetypes. Okay, right here. So the creator desires to create things of enduring value, imaginative, and artistic. So he said that this is passed on. So
But Jocko wasn't passed on. I
he
discovered
was.
I
Well, if you take Jungian's but the thing is like you're a creator. It doesn't matter what you picked up. You've always been a creator.
oh okay, creation was passed on.
The idea of the creator.
Okay. Now this is okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, this is now I'm mind effing myself, but this is the archetype idea.
Okay.
And he
So
proved go ahead.
when my parents made me somewhere and my dad or my mom, which they're not artists in any way.
No, no.
Like, well, my dad was an amazing house painter. You
Right.
know, like he was worked with his hands,
Right,
could
right,
make your house look amazing. Um, and my mom was an amazing worker, going to work every day. But as far as creativity, they didn't play or write or anything like
right.
that. They didn't write poetry but they were amazing at what they did in their work. So where would my creativity gene come from? I don't really.
No, no, it's nothing to do with genes. And you're actually starting to see the problems with Jungian psychology because it ends up sort of like you want a gene. I'm trying to tell you what he was influenced by.
So this is almost like what's the thing called?
And what I'm trying to tell you is that you need, and also it's not about you, it's about the collective unconscious,
And this
humanity.
is, I'm gonna throw something out there, but it probably has nothing to do with this. Nurture versus nature.
No,
Okay.
nothing to do. Not yet. That's a later debate with
Okay.
psychology. That's a later debate that actually Freud kind of started. Then that's another thing. Freud, another brilliant thing that psychologists took from him was
Yeah.
this idea that nurture. the idea of nurture that so John Locke, the philosopher John Locke argued the tabula rasa, the blank slate
Yeah,
idea that you're born like a blank slate. Now Freud said, nah, actually we're not blank slates, we're actually are products of nurture. So that's another debate.
that is interesting. We got to debate that one. That's a
Oh, dude, it's
good
in I do. I remember debating college about that. It's
that's a
fascinating.
good one.
Yeah,
That's a good
but
one.
I guess when we're more mentally alert, because I guess like
We just did 3 hours of the
right,
Tao of music, and you'll see that when it comes out, and
right,
you'll
right.
understand.
But going back to the archetype idea, it's a layer of shared ancestral memory of humanity. So it's more than a, it's more of, it's sort of like thinking, okay, and again, let me give you the archetypes. Someone,
When I use me, I kind of get this, and you use Jocko.
well, I tell you, Jocko represents like you, okay, let me give you the archetype and see what you think. Now,
All right.
Jung, using, and you can find these patterns and universal images. So Jung, again, he's taking it from like synchronicity, a causal. This is not, this is something here. And he
Right.
was trying to say that there is like evolution, there is a collective unconscious,
Right.
and we all get mapped up on these common patterns of not personality. Oh, well, personality types. Okay, the first one, the innocent. This person strives for happiness and safety, pure, optimistic, trusting, right? The everyman seeks connection and belonging, reliable, down to earth, and supportive. The hero, the famous one of the famous ones because of Joseph Campbell, proves worth through courageous acts, strong, determined, and masterful. The rebel disrupts what does not work, rebellious, wild, and revolutionary. The explorer seeks freedom and new experiences, adventurous, ambitious, and authentic. The creator, we just talked about. The ruler exercises power and control and creates order from chaos and is a natural leader. The magician understands the fundamental laws of the universe, mystical and transformative. You have the lover, fosters intimacy and pleasure, passionate, romantic, and committed. You have the caregiver, protects and cares for others, compassionate, maternal and paternal, and selfless. The jester, one of the famous ones, the jester brings joy to the world through humor, Robin Williams, lighthearted, playful, mischievous. The
Right.
sage seeks the truth. I kind of would fit with the sage, seeks the truth and shares knowledge, wise and intelligent, analytical. I'm not saying
Now,
what. Good.
could you be a combination, or you have to be one?
So,
Because in
uh,
myself, I'm hearing like three. If this was like a test and you had to pick,
yeah, well, he comes up with a personality test based on this.
like there's so many that I feel that I could resonate with so far. Obviously creativity. I could only think about this in my mind if I think it through
Well,
me.
well,
Does that make sense?
of course. But the way it would work is like this. So, for example, you. So, remember how we talked about synchronicities? So if you were in psychotherapy with Jung,
Yeah.
he's gonna say, for example, like some of your symptoms is because you're not following your authentic self.
Yeah.
And so let's say Young discovers that you have these patterns of creativity. You fit the creative mold. Let's read about some of the creating artists and creatives in history.
Right.
And so you can become self-aware of yourself and express yourself even more.
Now, is that inspiration
Uh,
that's being inspired by somebody?
Kind of, yeah, in a way.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, these are universal patterns, though. Remember, universal. So we all sort of these are things that gets passed on in the collective. You call it. We'll have another episode on this, the collective unconscious,
Right, right.
and we haven't even talked about the shadow, which is another thing that we need to talk about. But essentially, for example, if you're someone that seeks wisdom, like if you're in psychotherapy, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna say, for example, that let's integrate these parts of the psyche that you're not integrating, because you clearly are seeking wisdom. This explains why you don't like your job at the temple, for example,
Right,
because you're not expressing this.
right. Because like the only way I express it is when you're there. Because
Exactly,
I don't have other people to have
exact,
full-blown conversations with about this kind of stuff.
exactly. But what you're gonna find out, again, every person's unique. That's true. But what you're gonna find out, according to Jung, is that at the end of the day, at the end of your life story, you do get matched up on one of these archetypes. And actually, in storytelling, this is where this plays a huge role. Because, for example, Star Wars, Luke is the hero's journey.
Right.
It maps on classic patterns that have been told for thousands of years. Why is this the case? Jung said it's sort of like a collective like evolution, it gets passed on in myths. So
Right.
our unconscious gets mapped up on these stories, and
Right.
these
Right.
patterns come out. And again, using against synchronicity, that's how Jung sort of, it's kind of very brilliant. Again, one another,
It's so heavy. It's so heavy though. It's like
yeah,
hard to digest.
yeah,
It
no, no,
almost doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
no,
I mean? Like,
it's one that requires meditation and thinking. But once you, I obviously studied this, and like I'm a huge fan of Joseph Campbell,
yes.
and you see this in movies, the archetypes on full display. The
Oh
creative,
yeah.
the jester, I'm sorry, the jester, the comedian. The
Right.
comedian is the jester. Whether, and again, they have their own personality, but at the end of the day,
Right.
the universal pattern of the jesters, they bring joy and laughter to others, but sometimes at
Yes.
the expense of their own. So
Right.
it's kind of like that idea.
Right. Right.
But that's the archetype. So I hope I
I
explained
I
it.
I mean, I could see definitely creativity in mine. I could definitely see gesture because I'm a joker. We both have that comedy in us. I'm not going to say I'm a sage, but I have a lot of experience in something. So I like to teach people that want to learn. Does that make sense? You could
Mhm.
blend if I was taking the test.
You can, yes. But you're gonna find out if you answer the questions truthfully, you will fall in one of these patterns. And then whatever, depending the more you're up, again, the goal is to find out which parts of your unconscious matches the universal
Well, the
pattern.
creator would be for me, number one.
I think it's obvious. Knowing you, you're a
Yeah.
creator. You're an artist.
Well, whether it's writing a podcast and
100%.
playing the bass, like I just go off the charts with creativity,
Exactly.
you know. Um,
And again, just so I can read a little bit more here. So just so hopefully
who would you be on that list?
I've gotten the if I remember correctly. Oh, and by the way, we haven't even talked about Jung's personality types, the Myers-Briggs test. That's another thing that was influenced by that. That's another story. I'm definitely like 100%. I know this because I know thyself. I know myself because I've done a lot of introspection, but
Yeah.
I'm the sage. I'm always concerned with like ultimate like I've always wondered why am I like this? Like why am I wondering about like the why of things? And I
Right.
can never have fun. See, if I wasn't like because I always thought to be like, why are we doing this? Like, what is the end of man? Like why
Yeah.
but see, I know this because I'm interested in wisdom. I love learning.
Right, right,
Like I'm
right,
a
right.
lifelong learner.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like Socrates, I don't know everything, and that's why I need to learn everything.
Right, right. And that's the best
And
quote anybody I know that I know nothing.
yes. Who said that?
Socrates.
Socrates.
You know,
And Yoda famously represents the sage who says to young Luke in training, the hero's journey,
yeah.
he says, because Luke is like, I can't do it. Like, it's impossible. And then Yoda says, that's why you fail teaching him. Right. So kind of like
Um,
learn that idea.
now who would Darth Vader be?
Darth Vader, let me pull it up. Darth Vader is the power. Because remember, in the original, uh, I'll show you right now. That's good. That's a great question. So he represents all of the evilness of, and everything is embedded in the ruler. He wants leadership, authoritarian, not a hero, not a hero. So he wants power,
Okay.
power. If we put him there.
Now Han Solo,
Han Solo is the rebel.
it's total rebel.
Rebel. He doesn't give no Fs, does his own thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, there are other archetypes. There's the orphan, right? The idea of the orphan. It's interesting. Like I just gave you like a rough sketch, but the
Yeah,
more you
yeah.
read about this, the more it's fascinating. And actually, let me tell you right now, I'm gonna type something. This is really Star Wars is one of the best examples because it was influenced by Campbell, who got influenced by Jung.
Yeah.
Um, um, but in Star Wars, ready, the hero is Luke Skywalker.
Right.
The mentor is Kenobi or Yoda. I would say Yoda.
Right.
Again, not Sage is Yoda, mentor is Kenobi.
Right.
The Shadow, man. By the way, we forgot to talk about the Shadow, and that's gonna be another episode. Is Darth Vader? He's the villain. He
Yeah.
represents the dark side of all of us.
Right.
The Herald, that's another archetype, is R2D2. The again, there's a lot of the trickster also.
What's Princess Leia? The
Princess
lover?
Leia would be the lover.
Yeah.
She's very nurturing. She's caring.
Right. Right. Right.
Han, yeah. But again, this thing will get evolved, especially by Campbell, who's going to
Yeah.
perfect this theory in his book.
Yeah. I've read some of his books. I've seen a lot of his videos.
He's obsessed with myths as well.
Yeah. Um, so if I was to take the hero's journey and use the myth of Sisyphus
Mhm,
in my life every single day,
mhm.
am I using a archetype?
Kind of, yeah, because that's what in philosophy, that's what actually around the same time Camus is trying to apply that. Yeah, he's trying to apply the myth of Sisyphus to humanity.
Yeah.
Jung had nothing to say about that, as far as I know. Like he didn't
Right.
create like that. Camus came up with the absurd based on that myth. So, yeah, he did something similar too.
Right. Because I feel like the existential vacuum, as we change the name, and I say this all the time, I am the myth of Sisyphus. I'm rolling that ball
Right.
up.
Well, that's what again, that's what Camus tried to do. He tried to argue for humanity. He's saying we're all Sisyphus, rolling up that stone, coming down again. But this time
Yeah.
he offers consolation by saying, but we have to do it again. But that's life.
Yeah.
So you either do it, you have the courage to live, and just do it, just accept it. That life
Right.
is like this. Now, yeah, there's a different. He would be in Young's type. He's like the rebel, like, like
Yeah. See, I mean, Camus, I know he's dangerous, but I like him. I like Albert Camus' theories,
what? Wait, why is Camus dangerous?
because the suicide. If you read into that, it could be dangerous.
No, but do you remember what he said about that?
I always took it as it's a way out when things aren't it's like the ultimate way out of life is
Okay, you got it exactly. Because now I disagree with him.
oh
I don't.
no, it's wrong. You
No,
know.
not that. No. I disagree. Not no. Well, think about it. Life does suck. I mean, the solution is just kill yourself. That's
Yeah.
that's how he starts. Because now I disagree that the world is not as he sees it, though. I think the world is a good place, but we need to create the kingdom of God on earth.
Right.
We need
That's
to
where
do
religion comes
right.
in and stuff.
Now he
Yeah.
lacked that. So of course, because the prince of the world is Satan, the
Yeah.
world does suck. And if you're not careful, the only way out of it, why would you live to, let's say like young Cheech goes back in time, you look at your life. Would you
Right.
live it again the exact same way you did it, knowing all the sufferings and everything that was going to come?
Um, I would make change it if I could
No,
go
but what if
back.
you couldn't make changes?
Well, there were certain points in my life that were so amazing. I
Well,
would
see,
love to relive it.
right. So,
Not all of it.
right. So,
There's 9 years or about 5 years I'd like to burn. You
well, that
know.
sounds like shooting your life. Like that's what it sounds like. That's what like Camus was trying to say, and Schopenhauer and Freud too. Freud thought that the world is like a dark place, that we're all, unconscious is no different. It's a dark place written by ins. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that Jung offers sort of an interesting, like positive thing, though, that
Yeah.
he's saying, and going back to Camus, that I disagree with him. I don't think the world's a dark place. We can make it dark, and it sucks, but we do have hope for those that believe in God because again, Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We are all capable of, and we need help. We need God's help. It's the only way.
Yeah.
The only way. We cannot do it on our own. Of course, without that, the world does suck. It's dark. It's
But
why
um
live?
if you follow Aleister Crowley's philosophy, do what thy wilt, and you find your happiness. I gotta throw that bone. I gotta throw that monkey wrench in there.
Yeah, but what's his end though?
Your
What's
ultimate.
What's Aowas's end?
Well, you say it's Satan.
Well, it's his words, not mine.
No, but like if you forget AWAS being a dark
Okay,
entity,
okay.
and just say like, okay, say AWAS was not the devil, and he was just a
Moroni?
what do you call it? An Egyptian god. Uh, um, you know, you're finding your true will, and that'll bring you happiness. But your true will could be, I like playing the bass, I like doing a podcast, I love being with my kid. But for somebody, that might be like, I like strangling
I
young
was gonna
women.
say that
You know
that's
what I mean?
or for example, and we know this with nymphomaniacs. I'm following my will. I just want to have I'm trying not to say the word. I'm trying to
Yeah.
F as much as I want.
Right, right, right.
What's wrong with that? That's the problem with the True Thy Will episode. That's my
Well,
will.
you got to have some morals,
But
you
there's
know.
no morality. That the whole of the law is do what thy will. There is no morality.
Yeah. So yeah, you got to be careful with like, yeah, with that.
Because
Uh,
if you do that, think about it, Aleister Crowley's claim, do with thy will shall be the whole of the law. He's taking a Nietzschean approach. Dude, there is no good and evil, Cheech. Why are you talking about that? You're a weak man. That means you're not following, Nietzsche would say you're a weak individual. You're not
right, right,
following your will, the will to power. And
yeah,
then Crowley would say, well, do it with thy will, Cheech. What would you want to do?
right, right,
Don't think about good or bad. Just do your will.
right. And that could, that
That's
could
gonna
be
lead to
that, that's
consequences.
a Dahmer. That's see, I looked at it always as positive. I never would think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, to go out and do bad stuff
Well, if
with
you
it.
use philosophy, it's gonna start poking holes.
Yeah,
Like if that makes sense. Morality is fascinating because that you would think that it was religion,
yeah,
which is true, but it's actually not religion that invented morality. It's ethics, it's philosophy. It was Aristotle. He
yeah,
was the one that came, and the Stoics will end up taking this project. All
right,
religion did was tell you that the best good is to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to love the neighbor like yourself, as Jesus said to
right,
the Pharisees. That's the
right,
whole of the law. That's what he said. That summarizes the law and the prophets.
right.
Versus Crowley says the whole of the law, do what thy will, do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Follow that, right? Release your will
right.
and make that your law. Don't worry, don't God, who cares? Who cares about that? So
Yeah,
you remove that. Now, Aristotle, for example, came 2,500 years ago and argued virtue. What does it mean to be a good person? Virtue, there is the medium between two extremes. For
right,
example, sex. Sex has to be virtuous in the middle for procreation and loving.
right,
Not too much, not less either, because otherwise the species can go on. See what he
right,
did
right.
there?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there
yeah,
is sort of like a morality, a middle.
yeah. And that makes sense. I think that makes sense because you don't want to be, believe me, you don't want to be an oversexed person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I don't know why this is sex right now, but it makes sense, Freud.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Freud kind of went to that extreme saying, we're all pleasure principle. He kind of put it that,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
where I disagree with Freud, and I feel more Jungian.
right, right. You've
Uh,
always been a more Jungian person, more spiritual. You don't
yeah,
think that um unless you believe in the Schopenhauerian world, the Schopenhauer, see, I don't believe the world is cruel. I don't know if you would agree. I think the world's a good place. The problem is that like humans create hell on earth for
I
others.
do have some Schopenhauer in me beliefs where when I'm in certain places, like the existential vacuum. when I'm there, I feel like Schopenhauer. I have that mentality, like or Kant, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not happy. But doing a podcast or playing in the band or being with my kid, that's the joy part of life. The young, like the true, well, I'm gonna say that's the true will. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's Crowley, Jung, it's not Freud, you know what I mean? Just throwing it like my own philosophy. Like
Right,
if
right.
I'm blending, like if I'm taking all the like, because the whole point of this for me to study all these guys is to put
Right.
it into you got to put it into your own being.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because if you just study um Schopenhauer, Jung, Freud, and you're an expert like AI on it, but you don't apply it, at least to your imagination,
Right, right.
your active imagination, which we'll get into. Um, I would say like I have the masks at Whole Foods. We'll bleep that out.
Yeah, I'll be honest, no one's gonna only
Yeah.
who would actually like I'll be honest, like I feel like maybe we'll check out. Like
I know. So uh at the existential vacuum, I put the mask on. But when I'm there, the Schopenhauer comes in. You know, Albert Camus is definitely there, up and down, up and down. Jung is there with the mask. Freud is there because I'm fighting my ego, and my super ego on how to talk to people. So I'm a little bit of everything when I'm there. When I get out and I take the mask off, who, what philosopher, what psychologist brings joy and happiness?
hmm.
Well, to me, Crowley, do what thy wilt. In my own watered down version of forget AWAS, forget, taking that and being like, I'm gonna like go out and fucking, attack that girl, because I do what I will. No, do what I will. I'm doing what I want to do. No one's stopping me. I'm doing a podcast with my good friend, sharing knowledge. I'm playing in a band with my buddies. I'm hanging out with my kid. I'm writing episodes. I'm playing the bass. I'm doing my true will in my book. With the conditioned will and the face of Young, when that alarm comes off, and I have an old school alarm clock. Believe me, it's how old school I am. I get up and the cup of coffee in the face goes on. The minute I get in the car, the minute I go through the door, and I hear the same fucking music. I love the Google Dolls, but guy, stop, change the station, man. I mean, the music's been driving me nuts. If I gotta hear Mariah Carey, you know, make it happen one more time, I'm gonna lose my fucking
Yeah, you're
mind.
gonna end up like falling down.
Dude, I actually watching that. I gotta be careful because I get inspired very quickly by people, you know, and I noticed like I gotta say to myself because there's the hero's journey. Sometime I could take our boy William Foster and have somebody say the wrong thing to me and just give him
Dude,
that look.
you're about to club them to death.
Although, like, that's the beautiful thing about that movie. Like, we all think that. I'm
That,
sorry, you're
that's
not
the well,
human.
see, that's what's Freudian about it. We should save this for the episode.
Yeah.
But that's what the movie I think tried to say that deep down. I mean, that William Foster sucker, that poor sap. I mean,
Uh,
I
yeah,
feel bad
yeah,
for him because he just doesn't fit there.
yeah,
It's funny, he's no Mark either. Mark had his own Zen too. Like Mark
yeah,
put on a mask, dude. Like no pun intended. Like literally.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we all. This thing keeps falling again. No
Yeah,
matter,
we all
no
wear
matter.
masks, man. And it's funny,
Yeah.
Billy Joel said it best where he goes like he realized that when he met a girl and took her back home, And then she wasn't the same girl. And then he realized the Jungian reality that
Yeah.
we're all that they're all strangers. I don't know when that mask comes off,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And that shocked him. It's not the person that he thought he was romancing.
Well, that, you,
And that's an example of taking the good in Jungian and realize, dude, we all even I wear a mask to the temple. I'm not, no one knows who real Manny is. You know me, but
yeah.
nobody knows the real me. My mother knows me, my fiance
Right,
knows
right. Like,
me.
yeah.
Now,
We,
fiance, shout out to you. She knows my authentic. She knows your
like, yeah.
lover usually knows your authentic self. That's
Yeah.
why I disagree with Freud with like the pleasure principle. I do like to add superior ego as like an art because again, there's not there, I love that creativity. But Jung actually pointed to something that we do wear these masks. And
Yeah.
what if, to survive at like at the existential vacuum?
Yeah.
And even Camus argued that we got to put on the mask of Sisyphus because
Yeah.
otherwise, how are we going to survive? And
Uh, yeah, I mean, I've been putting a mask on all these years, even before I studied Jung. Everyone, you don't have to study Jung, you're putting a mask on. Because if you were your true self, you might get fired.
the shadow self.
If you were that's a good, if you were Darth Vader.
Dude, and at that place, there are shadows, man. Like the
Oh,
priests, they're not even wearing masks. They represent the dark sides of humanity. And if
yeah, yeah,
priests are not
yeah,
careful, the more they get pulled in, the more the
yeah.
shadow side comes out.
Oh, there's a lot
And
of shadow side. Yeah,
and people
yeah,
become evil.
yeah. Well, the whole idea of what it's become is that corporate greed, going
Yeah.
back to Michael Douglas,
And
who
ironically, The Wolf of
greatest act,
Wall Street, another movie where he stars in it, and he says greed is good.
synchronicity. Because we've
Synchronicity.
talked about, we did a whole episode on American greed based on that speech.
We
Now
did.
we're going back to
A-
falling down.
Right. And in the movie, remember how the character wants to F the poor Charlie Sheen's father's business. He just wants to eat it and just fires everyone just like it's nothing.
Yeah,
And then that's when Charlie Sheen realizes that no, the shadow guy is evil. And I'm gonna take the hero's journey. He's gonna sacrifice himself.
yeah,
So that's sort of like a hero's journey story with Charlie Sheen.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, dude, that's the idea where those are the mask they're wearing is they're not even wearing a mask. That's the shadow full on display.
So the shadow is not, there's no mask
No, it's for example, like I would argue the priests, dude, that's how they are.
at home.
Dude,
And
these dudes are beating up their wives and children and like
yeah, yeah, no,
they're
yeah,
saying like, wife, where's my food? And like probably clubbing them to death. Like I know it's effed up, but
yeah. Or what
or
about this? What about when you like see somebody you're like, wow, I never saw that side of that person.
that's fascinating. That you would have to analyze that. Like, is that the shadow? Are they wearing a mask? Like, what's going on there?
Or there's another kid I knew I used to work with who would be like, get really pissed off. And he's like, he's really nice guy. He's like, I'm sorry that you saw me out of character.
Shadow side came out.
Yeah.
Shadow. And you
Yeah.
saw it. Anger is from that shadow side.
So we all have a shadow.
Oh, that's what Jung argued. Yeah.
So Frenchie, what like, all right, now apply
Frenchie, dude,
what
what's cool about Frenchie, you are seeing no mask. That's really him. Shadow comes out, that's him. He's all id and shadow.
where would he be on the list
The archetypes,
on the archetypes? Frenchie.
he would be the innocent, the orphan.
He's the orphan, but yet that shadow comes out. The orphan is innocent. Like,
And the
what?
reason why the shadow comes out is because because of his condition.
Yeah,
That's why. That's what's so unique about him. Like when he was angry and about to, that's the shadow. That's actually how he is.
he was cutting onions. Now you got to think about how crazy somebody is
Dude, I'm surprised I was scared. I would have
to
gone out.
push to push a guy with a giant Jason knife who is potentially gonna break. to get a joke to send to my friend. You know what I mean? And see this anger in him, and then within seconds, all I had to say, "Oh, Frenchie, this is all fun. We're joking. We're okay, Cheech, thank you." And he laughs. Oh, we're having fun. We're having fun. I
Because he
know
has
it's not
pure
serious.
id and shadow. Like he doesn't know how to integrate those parts of himself. And it makes sense because of his condition.
Yeah, a
That's what about
regular.
Frenchie. You're seeing the shadow on display. So when
Yeah,
he's like, "Why did you like And he's like going that shadow that because a normal person wouldn't get like mad. They would be unless they lose control.
right.
But
But to lose control, I could see losing control for very good reasons. Like, if someone's breaking into your car,
of
you go out
course,
there and you
eh,
chase them or
of
something.
course, and the violence comes that violent part of
Yeah,
yourself, that
yeah,
part that you
yeah.
never thought was there.
Right.
That's what
Somebody's breaking in your house in the middle of the night. You're
right,
gonna
and you
pick up something.
strangle them like
Yeah,
it's nothing,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's where falling down
That's
on him.
what falling down is about. A guy that, you know what? Shadow. Screw it. I don't
Yeah,
care. And id unleashed. No more
yeah,
super ego. I don't care about society. My ego, on my
yeah.
eye, I have no eye. I've always been an eye. Now I'm just gonna be me.
Right, right.
And do what I will. My true
Yeah.
will. That's also
So
that's the great. That's what the movie's about.
he's
And we
got
all
Freud. Well,
and
when we
we're
get to
all
the
William
movie,
Forrester too. And we actually have a real William Forrester at the
oh
temple.
God, that's about right. That's gonna
So,
One Punch Man's he's going to explode.
he's gonna club someone to death, man.
I know it's gonna happen real soon. Either him or Frenchie. I may be killed by Frenchie, very soon. A knife right through my throat. You see me, Manny. You see the video, Manny. You were a good friend.
I told you.
And then yeah, I told you, Manny. Be a great horror movie. Like I said, if you push him, he's gonna make Art the Clown look like nothing.
Oh yeah, he kind of scares me.
Oh, I've seen him at its fucking worst. His
I'm
worst.
surprised the temple still allows him to work like that and like
Only person that had complete control over him was Wayne. Remember Wayne?
mm,
Wayne had like some kind of magical control. He'd be, hey, like it was almost like an animal, like controlling a dog. Hey, come here. And he'd walk away, and okay, okay, and then Wayne would go and say something to him. And here's the synchronicity: Wayne was a huge Star Wars guy,
right, right,
so
right,
now Wayne is. I never seen him. I never seen anybody control Frenchie like Wayne.
right.
Wayne had him controlled. He still talks about Wayne to this day. This
Wow.
Wayne comes up all like once a day. Wayne, Wayne would say this, and it's funny.
Wayne is his super ego.
Yeah, yeah. Wayne had an influence on him from not like, and I wonder if he did go off the wall, would they fire him? Like if I've seen him literally. Oh my God. He told Lolly one time, dude,
Who's this?
Frenchie. Oh my God. Right in front of the deli, somebody was saying something, and he's like, Lolly was gonna say something. He's like, shut the fuck up.
Wait, it's a lolly?
Right in front of customers. Like literally, like, where there's like a hot bar, something was going on, and he's like, shut the fuck up. And customers are like looking like, dude, it was the craziest shit I've ever seen. Or sometime what he says to me now, it's changed. I'll be going down the stairs, he'll be coming up. Usually he'll go up to your boss and he'll be like, "Hi, how are you? How's family? How's this? How's your kids? How's that?" You know, uh, it- our my boss, "How's your wife? Me?" You know what he says to me? "Morning, Cheech. Don't get me mad today, or be
Dude,
nice, be good today."
that's a warning. He's saying that's his ego.
Dude,
That's his
dude,
ego.
I'm not even like I'm literally walking. in
Has he always said this to you before?
since I've been, doing filming or messing with him a little bit more to get some jokes. Be good today, and but I have a Wayne power over him. I'm like, he likes me because he'll be like, okay, I know we're having fun. It's fun at work, but we can't have too much fun. We have to work, you know. Um, or now he hates Joanne. Hate, I mean,
That's
he talks about like
why is that?
if you quit, oh, he hates you.
Right,
You're on his leg. You're on his shit list. You fucked the department over.
right.
So it's like he hates he doesn't talk about Franklin much, but who else? But Joanne, he's always like, Joanne did the wrong thing. I don't want to be like that, because whatever she did, whatever rules she broke.
Right, right. Yeah, that's fun.
Um, does he even go on breaks? Have you ever seen him on?
Dude, I don't know.
I
I
don't think
feel
I've
like
ever seen him
I,
take a
I I
break.
feel like that place is taking advantage of a kid like that.
Well, you know what? He
No, I'm
does.
kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know.
I
I've
was
never
talking
noticed
to
it.
Leslie about it. He doesn't even have like a social worker to look out for him.
I'm surprised. Where he like I'm surprised to let him work like that. Like, especially cutting
Oh,
knives. Like,
I think he comes. He's been there as long as I've been there.
who's his parents?
I don't even know. It's a mystery
How does he
about
get home?
us. He's very intelligent.
Really?
Takes a bus to and from work. He has to have the weekends off. Um, he he's been there for so long
Where
that
does his money go?
that's a great that's a great question. What does he spend money on? What is his pleasure?
He still looks the same out. Actually, I don't even know what he looks like his clothes.
He he doesn't have fancy clothes, but he has the same clothes from probably 10 years. He doesn't buy new clothes.
But who's his parents?
I know his father died. I know he has a sister, but I don't know. He's very
Yeah,
mysterious.
Marcel is weird. Like, oh, whoops. Frenchie is.
Right?
We never watched the episode, but Frenchie is interesting. I don't. Very mysterious dude.
Yeah, but he'll net and they don't question him. All
No.
leadership that comes in, they know. Like I'm surprised. Like say a new leader of the store comes in, is like, well, okay, that guy that works with you, where's his social worker? Where's his team? They call it a name, like a team
Case
advisor.
manager?
No, like a team advi Like I don't know. I think um I forget what it's called, but if you are like that, you have somebody who comes in and talks to you. The other one
Right.
downstairs has one.
Who?
I don't want to say her name. The other girl, the one in flowers.
Therapist?
She has like a team advisor that watches her work.
Oh, an aide.
Yeah, like an aide. Yeah,
An
yeah, yeah, yeah.
aide. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. That's
Marcel does not have
no.
that.
And the other one's kind of normal too. I mean, not normal, but
Yeah, she's smart. She's really smart.
so why
Yeah.
does she need? And there's another one in bagging. Have you seen her?
Yeah, yeah, she's young.
I see someone with an aide with her too sometimes.
Yeah, but Frenchie never ever had an aide.
That is weird, actually.
And he always did a great job. He always like my manager always say he's the best worker we have because he will never argue with you. He will argue. Like if you tell him what to do, he'll do it. And if he doesn't have the resources, he'll get the resources. He knows where to go. He'll ask, "Where do I get this? How do I do it?" Make sure there's been issues from your department, like people been just like grabbing shit, and he'll be like, listen, I got this from Cheese. Make sure you what do you call it?
Transfer.
Transfer.
I remember he did that to me. I'm like, yeah, you got it. You can't say no to him. You're like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, yeah.
And dude, with this one time he goes like, um, I'm telling you, he was saying something about going into the kitchen with your chef's coat or something weird. And he was like, people should be fired if they go in the kitchen with their aprons, right, Manny? I was
Was
like,
it,
I
sorry,
was
was
like,
it the bathroom?
oh, maybe that.
Yeah, yeah, the bathroom. I think he went in the bathroom one time when it's like in the beginning and they yelled at him not to do that. But I've never seen him fight with like management. Um I've I've seen one guy, this fucking the craziest dude I ever worked with. I won't say his name. Uh he worked downstairs as a chef. He was fun. He was out of his mind. He pushed Frenchie to the edge, to the fucking edge, to where he was slamming stuff and back then he'd be like, I'm going to the store manager.
Mhm.
And he would go to, and then he's like, no, 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 no. And he would be begging him not to. And I was quiet back then. I didn't mess with Frenchie too much. You know, I kind of just gradually started to, like over time. I would make him say all kinds of crap. I had him saying AWAS for the longest time. He would say, I had him saying AWAS, and he was saying, oh God, what would I make him say all the time? The meek shall inherit the earth.
Nice.
He was like, the meek shall inherit the earth. And then who was Paul McCartney is dead. The guy that took over for Paul McCartney. He's got a name. There's a real person. Do you know his name?
Don't remember his name. I heard of it though.
Somebody made him say that. Alan made him say that. And he would say that all the time. Campbell. It was like something Campbell. Richard Campbell, maybe? He would say that. We make him say all kinds of like I had him saying AWAS for a while. He'd be like AWAS, AWAS, you know, and I tried to bring it back and he forgot. But he's also a memory, his memory is so good.
Right.
I could go down literally 10, maybe 15 years, and he'll give me, if I explain the person, I know who that is, and he'll give me the name. Don't
Right.
it's like Rain Man. It's scary. He is he's a scientific anomaly. Like somebody should study him. You know how he acts, how he works, his brain. You know, his anger, his rage, his kindness.
Yeah, yeah. It's
He's
kind of
got
good.
he's got the kindness. How are you, Manny?
Yeah, he's
How are
very
how's
so
your
well behaved.
yeah? Always ask you how's your day going? Is everything good? And then you seen today. Get that, shut that thing.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on? And Lolly's like laughing.
Dude, that was pure insanity.
I was like, what is going on?
I had to catch it on video. And you know what's sad? Like I could never release that stuff. Like too bad
Oh,
I'd be put
no.
I'd be fired, thrown in
Oh,
jail, and
yeah.
but yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah,
Good
he's a
guy.
good.
Good guy. But then
Anyway,
good place to wrap up.
architect.
Any last minute questions, Cheech? Like,
No, so we covered architect. We really we used examples, great examples. So this would be our archetype section of Carl Jung, the great Carl Jung. Um, and I like to apply all these philosophers to my own life and psychologist. That's the only way I understand it. You know, I, I I don't understand. Like when I was a kid and I took psychology, I just studied it. You know, I studied, okay, yeah, you know, Freud and this and that, but you know, you got to apply it to yourself.
mm,
That's the only way that's the only way you can understand a psychologist, a psychiatrist. Take their philosophy and apply it to yourself.
mm,
Hopefully people watching can understand that are into Carl Jung,
mm.
you know. So this is the rock and roll Carl Jung vibe and great shows. Tower Music was heavy, man. And This was pretty heavy too. So we
And
got
then
it.
psychoanalyzing a Frenchie.
Yeah. And then next week I'll have Fallen Down written.
Yeah,
That'll be
let's rock
done.
and roll. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's gonna be and taking Freud, Jung. Would you put Adler? I was thinking about what psychologists we could apply to William Foster. Definitely Freud, definitely Jung. Would Adler go apply to him for power?
Yeah,
Nah. So just more Freud and Jung.
I think so.
That's it. There's nobody else that would really fit into what he's doing. A
Hey, you.
philosophers now you could throw in like Schopenhauer, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Camus, I guess, right? Or no?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's rolling the ball up and down, and he said, "Fuck this." He throws the ball
Yeah.
backwards. So we'll add some philosophers and the psychologists
Yeah.
to that character. And I think that movie's one of the greatest movies of the '90s, man. For that kind of you
Mm.
know movie. But all right, man. Once again, our Thursday night podcasts, so much fun, and I know you're going to be releasing a bunch of them.
Hmm.
Don't forget the Salieri and Mozart. That was a
I got to do that. I forgot I had not released that yet. Are you sure I
that's
didn't release it?
no, because we did that
Oh,
a long time
that
ago.
must be in the archives. Oh, so I
There's
gotta.
a lot. There's a lot in the archives. There's the one on. We did a whole show on geese. That's in the
That's
archives.
right. Okay, I got to rock and roll. Okay, okay.
We probably, if you released everything, we'd be close to 150.
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
like if you go on a rampage and you start to release, dude, we'll be up to 130, 135 easily. We're gonna hit
Mhm.
150 soon, so because I don't even think you did the Sex Pistols.
No, I
The
think no.
yeah. So there's a lot of
Right,
stuff.
right.
But anyway, man, this is always a blast and always
Always.
great and it's so crazy how in one week because of a different William, we came up, the concept of falling down
Yeah.
came in my head. I was like, wait a second, I got to do falling down now, and his name is William.
And yeah, that's a sign. And now
Like, yeah,
you're putting Young into practice. So if you see his connection, follow it. That's what he was saying.
yeah, synchronicities are everywhere, every single day, and I always would hear people say, "Oh, that's a coincidence." Wow, it's crazy. I met you in the grocery store. What a coincidence. No, it's not. It's not synchronicity. I'm still having trouble with fate and synchronicity, though. I mean,
How about this?
you
Next
know,
week we'll start there. A quick like
yeah,
discussion and let me we'll approach it some other way.
yeah, because I still feel that it's God's will that make things happen no matter what. It's like fate and synchronicity. William falling down,
Mm.
you know, I don't know. But on that note, great episodes.
Mhm.
Nanu, Nanu. And we'll rock out next week with falling down, man. That's gonna be a fucking epic fucking episode.
We're gonna we're gonna have a blast with that one. Like no pun intended.
And I'm excited because it's our first real movie
Right.
because we've done mainly horror movies.
Yeah.
We haven't done any real movies. So we talked about doing actual movies. So I gotta pick a good one for Halloween though. Maybe Exorcist 3. We could.
Oh, that would be a great idea. I have a lot to say on that movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Um,
pick a good like psychological.
I think Exorcist 3, dude.
Actually, Halloween is a good one. How why
Oh,
did
and the
Mike
idea of the mask wearing too.
that's Jungian, and why did Mike Myers become a psychopathic killer?
Mhm.
You know. So
Mhm.
anyway, great episodes, man. I will talk to you during the week. Hopefully, we've actually seen each other
Yes.
twice. You know,
Actual
twice.
physical interaction.
Yeah, and we got to hang a little bit secretly,
Yeah,
in secret, of course, because
yeah, yeah. And then we ran into One Punch Man.
oh my God, that's how we got to end our show. Thank you. Fine.
But for all viewers out
But
there,
anyway, till next week.
please,
That's how
for our
we end
viewers
our
out
show.
there, Teacher Manny, we love you. Subscribe if you love this video.
Yep.
Like this video. Comment below. We'd love to hear your opinions and read about in the comments. And yeah, One Punch Man.
One Punch Man. It's so fucking bizarre. I
Yeah,
hope he
and the way he
doesn't.
does it's like
And he looks at you like he goes home. He's like he's gonna wind up at the urologist at 22. That bastard.
and he wakes up and all he does is practicing.
Well, I wonder if he took karate because that's a karate. I mean, no, I never studied martial arts. I always wanted to, but my kid took Taekwondo.
Mm,
And the guy was so awesome. His instructor in Mamaroneck. And he showed me a couple. I said, yo, he was a bass player too. And we always talk about discipline, being a musician and martial arts. And he showed me a couple moves. And one move was like that. Where you put your, I mean, it's obviously, but it was like this one where you stick it. I bet you that kid studied.
yeah, he's doing that karate.
So that makes him even more dangerous.
Oh man. Watch out, priest. But
He's gonna fuck one of them up
dude, it's coming.
soon. It's kind of Wednesday.
Tell tell Leslie be careful.
On a Wednesday, it's gonna happen. You're gonna
Just gonna
hear a
he
new.
just they're breaking a poor man's soul, man.
They're breaking this,
This
and I heard that they're. I mean, he's not gonna watch this, but I heard that they're not happy with them. Imagine he's a big fan. He's like, "What? They're not happy with me?"
ugh, like he just breaks his glasses, like starts getting his gloves, start getting
Starts punching himself. He starts. He bends his arm.
no, no, he can't. He's like, "Ugh," and he like cracks his arm. You see his bone, and like,
Yeah, his bone, his elbow, his fucking elbow comes out. He punches himself. He breaks his own nose. Sir, how'd you break your nose and your elbow bone?
and then he calls out. He's like, "Yeah, I gotta call out for my shift today. What's the reason? I just punched myself."
Wait, it's Wednesday. What are we gonna do? Tuesday night, he's gonna be punching himself in the head.
He's gonna come into work. He has a cast on.
Gotta have those yellow papers, man, on Wednesday.
Hey, no, this was gonna happen. Hey, uh,
Foster.
Foster, you got my shot.
You're gonna fuck somebody up.
He's just gonna freaking punch people here left and right,
I can't
and
wait.
then
I
he's
can't
gonna
wait
look
to
at
see.
you and he's gonna like, "Hey, Foster."
Oh, dude, he's he says your name too. Holy shit, you sounded just like him. He'll say your
Yeah,
name and then he'll
no,
do it.
no, I'm trying to impersonate him. He goes like, "Hello, Manny. Hello." But it's kind of weird. It's like he's excited, but it looks like he's about to like strangle you. It's kind of weird.
I know. Yeah,
He
it's
gives a weird vibe off, like
Dahmer quality.
very Dahmer-esque. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we'll report to our viewers out there his condition.
Yeah, we'll
Don't
report how.
worry. We'll see if Foster can like survive, but it seems
Yeah,
it's hopeless. He's not rolling the stone up the mountain.
no, he's gonna roll it backwards and have his falling down moment. But he doesn't seem violent. He because I actually the Frenchie thing got so loud that he was there. He was outside with the new kid in your department and Raph, and of course Raph is like, "What, Cheech? What the fuck? What are you doing to him? What are you doing to Frenchie?" And I'm like, "I'm not doing anything." And Foster was laughing. He got a kick out of like us joking on Frenchie. So I was weird to see that side of him, you know.
Okay.
But anyway,
Anyway, Cheech, man, always a pleasure, brother. I'll see
yep.
you obviously in the temple, but
At the
definitely
temple.
next week, Thursday's podcast.
Definitely. Nine new, man.
All right,
Great
Cheech.
episodes.
Good night, brother.
All right. Bye bye.